You have to go out for it. Oh, like fun, isn't it?
Obviously, shows at home in Orange County are always great because we can see all our friends and all the creepy people that have been hanging on for 20 years and watching us. And they're usually a little more stressful though because our families are there and stuff like that.
Can't even.
Do you know a lot of
can't fit into your own dressing room. It's filled with people. You're like trying to sneak in and grab your horn.
We like anywhere there's good beer usually though. So the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah? What's your favourite beer then?
Oh
God. What is it? Come on.
You like
There's got to be one.
Shikari?
I do, but it's not.
Oh, isn't there a North Coast one that's your favorite?
I don't know. In the last year, I've sampled over 650 individual beers.
Pick one out.
So it's just like,
Brother
what do I always go back to? I tend to go back to really malty beers like Doppelbox or like Scottish wee heavy kind of beers. So I'll say AleSmith wee heavy. Wow, that's what I'll say.
Yeah?
Oh,
Well, you're not a beer man.
No, I am.
Oh,
I've sampled 507 different beers over the last year.
We're keeping track.
Yeah, we're keeping track. This past year, I guess for the most part, I was pretty consistently in love with the Edmund Fitzgerald Porter by a brewery called Great Lakes in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, it's a porter with hints of coffee and vanilla. Man, but recently I feel like I fell in love with another one. Yes! It's a beer called Fade to Black Volume 3 by Left Hand, which is from Colorado.
Okay.
Boulder?
Could be Boulder, could be... Bold. Let's say Bold.
The Denver airport.
Or Grand Junction or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's a... Do they call it a porter or is it a dark lager? I think it's a porter. It's a porter with dark chocolate and black pepper.
Yeah.
And it's beer.
Awesome. Yeah.
Controversial.
I brew beer at home, and I've got like a little club of friends that all do it.
Yeah.
So a lot, some of the beers I'm drinking a lot of them are these, homemade concoctions of like, jalapeno peppers and vanilla and all kinds of weird stuff. So it's just hard to sort of keep track after a while of what your favorite thing is, because you're always it's like being I'm not an athlete. Maybe you can tell. And but like an extreme athlete's always looking for a higher bridge to jump off of or whatever. Well, that's kind of how I am about beer. It's like
it's kind of how America is about beer.
There's always that next thing that's going to blow my mind, and then a week later I can say I knew about that. And that's boring now.
Oh, I had a great one over around Christmas time by Lawson, which is a brewery in Vermont, which is between New York and Canada.
Yeah.
It's called it's a maple imperial stout. So it's a double stout with maple syrup. Awesome. Oh. I like stouts and porters.
Yeah, kind of. You know your beer, don't you?
Man, it's good. It's like 11%. Knock your socks off. It's sweet and hoppy and it's so good.
Everything you want in a beer then?
Yeah. Oh.
Is there anywhere you guys have played or haven't played that you want to play?
Yeah, we haven't covered a lot of Asia. We've been to, we went to,
I want to play New Delhi.
We used to go to Japan a lot, and it's been probably 6 years since we've been to Japan.
Okay. Any reason or just haven't gone?
It's sort of this catch-22 thing. Like the promoters over there are like, well, if you come over by yourself, you won't really make enough money to cover the trip. If you come over, no, how does it work? It's one of those things where no one really wants to pull the trigger on it. Everyone's going like, well, you need to put out a record, and then the record label or when we go to promote a record, they're like, well, you haven't played any shows here in a long time, and like, so okay, we'll try and book some shows. Well, you don't have a video. And it's like, oh, jeez, we gotta go over there at some point. Yeah. So, like Zebrahead's old friends of ours, they're huge over there. They play like stadiums in front of thousands and thousands of people. And so, like, we keep talking about maybe jumping on shows with them, but we wouldn't really make any money because, so it's a bunch of bullshit.
I want to play North Korea.
Yeah,
I'm hoping North Korea. I'm hoping that the regime over there falls apart and the country opens up and we get to play there someday.
Yeah.
I want to play China. I want to play India.
There's a lot of Asia then.
Oh, yeah, Asia. We haven't.
And we'll really play anywhere. We don't really say no to shows. So we'll go wherever.
We're playing we're playing a gig on the Black Sea later this summer. Like this little part of Russia, like squeezed between Georgia and Ukraine. Really excited about that.
Yeah. We'll be able to look at Iran.
Yeah. Hey, Iran.
Let's see. I really want to go to like Vietnam and Singapore. This is back to the Asia thing. Just because I want to eat bumblebees and like
the weird stuff
Cobra heart and stuff like that. Yeah.
My mate was out there. Yeah.
I'd love to play a USO show in Afghanistan or something. That'd be really
yeah,
cool.
we tried to get on the USO thing. We're all pretty much pacifists and hate war and really anti-American empire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
It would be cool to play, wouldn't it?
we're performers, and you know, if people want to see a show and dance, that's kind of our job. And so we were sort of trying to get on those shows, but we were actually told by the military, you know, they sent out their representatives from each branch there to come to our show and judge us, basically. And they basically went, "You're not the kind of band that people want to go kill people after watching. You know, we need like heavy metal and stuff like that." They're like, "So, you know,
maybe bring out a darker album. You know? Bring out something."
So maybe when the war is over, we'll throw a party. You know, like you guys can come play.
You can play them home or something.
Yeah. So we're like, well, maybe you can like land us on an aircraft carrier out by Guam or something. You know, that sounds like there's not a lot going on.
Keeping you happy out there. Given the name of your band, Real Big Fish.
Yes, sir.
Would you ever consider playing in like an aquarium?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes.
Do you like gimmicky shows like that?
I'd play underwater with scuba gear on.
We played at a zoo once on the stage that they do the bird show on.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that go down?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was very Spinal Tap, but the best thing was at the end of the night, you know, all the lights in the zoo were shut down, everyone's gone, and, you know, we all poured ourselves beer and kind of went for a spooky walk through the zoo. And most animals are more comfortable at night, so you're hearing like the lions and the tigers and everything moving around and the wolves howling and stuff.
Or drinking as well.
Yeah, oh yeah. We're like,
sounds like a
don't fall in.
Like that.
Yeah.
See how many questions we can tie back to beer.
Yeah. I've DJ'd in an aquarium before. That was pretty fun. Because you start to pick like music that's gonna go well, like echoing through the hallways and things. But
Have you ever got any plans to do that anytime soon then?
No. We don't really like come up with the plans. We wait for someone to call us.
You get told what to do.
And we go, yes.
Yes.
Would you like to play a show? Yes.
Yeah. Anywhere, anytime. Is that what it is? Or
We're actually
do you do any bargaining with them, or what? Is it?
Well, I mean, it has to, the show, you know, this is our only job, right?
Yeah.
So the show has to
cover a certain amount.
Has to cover a certain amount of money to make it,
Worthwhile.
if not profitable, then at least not lose money doing it.
Yeah.
You know, we do
Right,
shows where
because it's not just us. There's the tour manager, the t-shirt guy, the booking. Everyone needs to get paid.
Yeah.
So even if we break even, they all need to at least get paid because they're the ones doing most of the work, you know. So
that's our only criteria, though, and it has to make sense travel-wise too.
My wife doesn't like to hear all this, but that's the truth.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll play anything. Almost. I'm sure there's probably some exceptions. I don't think we'd play like a neo-Nazi rally or something like that. If it has. However, other than that, unless it's
we may show up and crack fucking skulls.
Yeah.
You know. There's a brewery in southern Colorado called Ska Brewing Company, and throwing back to beer, and they're throwing like an anniversary party.
We're going to deliberately just genuinely just the answer.
They're throwing an anniversary party for all their staff and everything, and it's just like a little thing that they do for the town that they live in. And you know, I was talking to them on Twitter or whatever, and he's like, "Well, why don't you guys come down and play?" Okay, well, see, that's tough because it's really far. There's nothing around there, so it's not like we can. Yeah, the night before we were, 5 hours away at this show. No, there's nothing. So it's a lot of travel. You know, they're not going to really have a proper stage or anything. Like, it's going to be one of those shows, but it's called Ska Brewing Company. I mean, we gotta go play it. We're the band with the song called Beer. If we don't play it, it's just a travesty. So, we had to cut corners and figure out a way to do that. And we're really willing to work with people, but like we said, there has to be kind of like this minimum to make it. So at least the adults involved get paid.
Not everyone,
we just want free beer.
This one's more sort of my sort of question, but where did the band name come from? Any ideas, or was it just a pun? Are you fish enthusiasts, or?
The band was originally called the Fisher Kings when we were like I wasn't even in the band then. Aaron wasn't even the lead singer. He was like this lead guitar guy that kept his back to the audience and wore like Pippi Longstocking with pigtails. And there, it was like 1990, and so it was like the Spin Doctors, real disco-y, alt rock kind of stuff. And
instead of disco,
right, but really white high school funk.
Yes.
What are you gonna do? Dancing at my show? And
that's why he plays trombone.
I didn't want to say it.
They put out a demo tape, and it was called. It had this weird pattern on the front that one of the blobs sort of looked like the fin of a fish, and so they said, "Fisher Kings, the real big fish tape." And everyone who would come up to the band after that would say, "Ah, the real big fish, you guys are great."
Okay.
So we just didn't argue.
Just left it.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we're the real big fish. And so all the band, like I was saying before, all the bands that were getting the better shows were ska bands, and Aaron realized he already liked that music. So they put up an ad in a record store. I saw it, joined the band. We became a ska band. This is changed the A to an E, so it was R-E-E-L.
I was going to say a cheeky little pun in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going around there.
You guys obviously, you look back over your history, you've had a lot of like band member changes.
Yeah.
Has that affected your music?
I used to be a woman. Right now.
Done impressive with Starship.
The pills are working.
Getting really hairy.
Does it affect your writing music and all that sort of stuff, or is it quite easy just to sort of integrate and keep going and that? Is it, are there problems, are there issues?
Aaron's always done the majority of the writing, so I think that's always going to be the same. It's even when some of us write musical parts, the lyrics are all his, so the story is his. Right? Scott, as far as people who left the band that probably had the biggest impact, Scott, when he left, that was a big deal. He would do a lot of the writing, and he definitely he's a really good singer, fantastic singer. So I think his sort of musical theater operatic voice doing the background harmonies kind of set us apart from a lot of the other bands, right? But we did 7 records like that, so it's not like we didn't do everything we possibly could with that sound. So as the sound changes, it doesn't feel unnatural because we got to progress somehow. And so if someone leaves, and that's just an element missing. It sounds like Matt's doing all the tuning now, and he's fantastic.
As well.
I guess the addition of a saxophone really changed stuff up a bit. But our original record, our very first record, first two records had saxophone on it. So the parts were all there, the solos were all there. So really, he just picked that up.
Together.
There was this sort of weird period where, like right around Cheer Up and where Scott started to play guitar more. So I was writing the horn lines, and so there is kind of a different vibe to the horn lines around then.
Yeah.
But then there was always Aaron to go, okay, make sure you go ba-da-pop right there, and so then it still sounded like Real Big Fish, right? So I don't know.
You guys had quite an argument with one of the record labels, didn't you? Is it?
Yeah. Not an argument. Well, it's just a constant argument,
I think every band has constant arguments with record labels. And there's probably less and less of them now because there's less and less record labels.
Yeah.
Fewer bands on those record labels, and it's a different world now.
Yeah, it's a fundamental difference. I mean, as a person in a band, you're treated like the owner of the company, right? You're treated like a rock star.
Yeah.
But you're also the lowest person on the totem pole. You're the last person to get paid. You're the one doing the work. You're writing the songs.
Yeah. Making a
There's hundreds of people in between there, like your own staff. Then there's the record label, the booking, all those people. There's dozens of people at the record label, and they all think they have a say. And everything all these people do in the middle kind of gum it up. It's kind of a bureaucracy. And they all think they're really artistic. They want to have an opinion and stuff like that. But they punch a clock. They show up at work. play Angry Birds all day,
Yeah.
try not to get caught by the boss, write an email. Okay, that was my job for the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you're out there sweating and losing your keys in the gutter in Amsterdam and all kinds of random shit.